Hello and welcome. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of our podcast network and everything we do. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump and UConn legendary men's basketball player Jake Voskuhl. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large or small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, slip and fall, car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife got angry one night and decided to stab you, the Finch Firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut. He will go to war to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. You just have to remember, in a pinch, call Finch or go to his website, thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance is owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program where he trains boys and girls in the sport of their choice from the ground up, helps them reach their full potential, be the best they can possibly be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, he has a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford, Connecticut. Go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. All right. And here we are for Inspire Synergy with the man himself, Razul Wallace. Razul, how are you?
Good. How you doing, brother?
You got a lot going on. How are you? You're in the car?
I'm in the car. I am.
Yeah.
I'm actually waiting on Ja right now to.
Where are you?
I'm in Hartford. We were doing. We were looking at some property, and he had to go pick up. He had to go pick up his son, and then we're carpooling to a holiday party for our business partner. Her nonprofit is having a holiday party.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
What's the nonprofit?
Her nonprofit is CMW. They do like entrepreneurial support, help, guidance for men, women, and children. So basically everybody. But they have, they do a lot of different things from like back office support to like, I think they've done stuff with government contracts. I think they actually have some government contracts now that they work on. I think the town or the city. They do a bunch of
So I was able to reach out to the person I know at Gatehouse in New Hampshire, and they would love to have a place like yours where they're able to send people who graduate their program, people who need housing after 28 days, or if they don't get into their IOP program or when their insurance runs out. They would love to work with you and do something like that. So
that'd be great.
Yeah, I think that from what he was telling me, there's a lot of places that are looking for housing. He mentioned another. He mentioned two other places that are in the Nashua area that also are looking for places to send people because they don't have enough resources to do it, and it usually ends up with a bus ticket and you're out, unfortunately, and it doesn't typically end well. So I think that's something that you could take advantage of, and they provide the transport, whether it's a bus or a train or
Oh, really?
uh, by van. They'll bring them to you
That's,
and get them settled.
yeah,
So
well,
it,
because everything we do is all the guys are self-paced, so we do have to kind of talk to
yeah,
them, make sure they have the ability to kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
travel.
of course, yeah. No, I know that part. Uh, yeah, but that would be huge for them, because I mean, when you're in their IOP program, you have to pay rent anyway.
Oh, is that
So
right?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. They just they fluctuate it based on whatever your income is, but they would definitely have people capable, and work with the case management to try to get them jobs ahead of time down in Norwich, before they sent them to you.
that's great. That'd be great.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I think. I mean, the biggest thing is getting you a pipeline of men that can come in, that can pay, that can work, and get into your program, and then from there, like you said, it's developing themselves, their work skills, assimilating in the house, and really getting back to a normal life. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I think that there are, from what he told me, there are many places. Um, he gave me some in Massachusetts, from rehab centers to detox places, that would work with you, and send you people, because they all try to have case management on the spot to get people jobs. So they would be able to come to you prepared and ready, to go to work and be able to pay. So it wouldn't be as much of a transition. The only question they had asked is, if they were able to get someone work, would you give them like a grace period of a week or two to be able to pay?
that'd be a conversation. We have to really
Okay.
understand it, like, because right now we haven't afforded anybody that kind of
Yeah,
leeway
I know you haven't.
and understand, because if they come in, if they come,
If they came in and if they paid like half one week and half the next week, something like that.
we could possibly we've done it. We've done it. So we have some local entities that have helped support guys coming in that might be able to help too.
Yeah,
So if we can have the conversation and figure it out, you know what I'm saying, see if there's a gap. Um,
because I told them, if they were able to save up money with the work that they're doing there, and have that to go in,
right.
that would be the way to do it. And then case management can work on getting them jobs in the Norwich area
Yeah.
where they can start and pay. So because I told him, it's a little bit more of expensive. It's a more expensive area than Nashua. So,
But this,
but
you know, for me, I think just understanding that right now we've been very kind of um, trying to be as supportive as possible, right? So
no, I know you have, yeah,
we have we have subsidized guys. We've given guys a lot of opportunities when
yeah.
in
You've
different
held
times,
beds open for him.
right? And we're at the point now where I got to be a little stricter because my main thing is even if I'm not making any money, to try to make it like sustainable. But once it starts to cost me more money, it becomes really challenging for me personally. You know what I mean?
Where has it been a situation where guys have gone without paying rent for months or weeks or however it works?
So we've given, like when we had the fundraiser, right? The funds that we
Yeah,
raised, it allowed us to get someone to help with, different, someone like Ashley to help with, grants, different sources of funding to come in, and she's been extremely effective. And I envision money coming in the recent future, but those will be specifically for the programs that are built off of that. And we've been able to use the difference of those funds to help subsidize guys that we feel are genuinely putting forth effort, right?
right.
Have a growth mindset, but we kind of offer them a subsidy, right, where they might not have to pay 1 or 2 weeks or give them a break for a month or two, but they're men that have displayed like a genuine effort, but are just
To
having
to to get a
difficulty,
job or yeah.
right? Whether it's someone that is on the offenders list and that poses additional risks, or someone that has disability and they are very limited in what other work they can do. You know, um, so we have offered those things, but at some point you gotta kind of have like a hard
No,
line
that's a
because
challenge. If
you know. Um, so at the very least, one of the things when guys come in, um, kind of making sure that they have some skin in the game, and even then, with some of the local agencies that we have, it's $1,000 deposit that covers your first month's rent and to move in, and then we've had a
yes,
couple of
yes,
partner agencies that have, they've given 200 towards it. Like one will give 200, and sometimes two will give 200, so then they only give 600. But they have to put forward the effort of making the contact with them, talk to them about their situation. You know what I'm saying? Having them commit to it, which isn't very hard, but at least if they put forward effort, that's something. That says a little bit more than us just giving them or cutting them a break. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, of course, yeah. It's a big difference, but
And it reinforces up a little bit, reinforces us a little bit financially.
yeah, it shows their commitment to the house and the commitment to what you're offering to them.
Yep.
Um, have do you have people who work specifically in case management that help people and the men in the house get jobs, or is it specifically on them to look for work?
So we tried a few different case managers
You have,
that
yes.
that didn't work out for whatever reason. We've also leaned on some other agencies that have offered support, not just financially, but
The right, the
we
workplace
made them available.
development.
We're actively working on a program right now um, with some potential partners to help like um, shore up our programming. Like I talked to you about before, where we want to do the trauma, um, workforce development, financial education to help guys in that path to like independence.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a whole structure, and we have a couple meetings tomorrow and next week um, because there's funding available that can help support some of that stuff, and
Yeah.
that will make that'll reinforce what we're doing and we'll be able to better serve the men too.
So I ideally, if you were to put a structure in for the program, you would like the men to get up in the morning. You would like them to go to work.
Yeah.
You would like them to come back, have dinner, do whatever, go to a meeting, and have some time to chill and get to bed. Is that kind of what you're looking at? Or if they're not going to a job, doing some workplace development, doing some skill development, or actively pursuing employment.
Yeah. Or
during that time.
any of those, and if there is an employment limitation, one of the things because we've been one of our area partners is United Way, and in our last meeting they talked about some of the new requirements for continuing to receive like SNAP benefits and government subsidies, and they're going to require, at least to the best of our knowledge right now, right?
Hours of work, right?
At least 80 hours of
they are. I know.
of work or volunteering.
Yeah. No, I saw that.
So even if which I think might have some potential benefits, but also I can see having challenges.
Well, they're looking for really 20 hours a week of part-time work to qualify for SNAP benefits.
Right.
That's what they're kind of trying to do across the country, because
right.
they feel that people take advantage of it, and it hasn't been used the right way. It's kind of been the same way with the I just had James on, and we were talking about the Affordable Care Act, and he has been hesitant to put people in the Affordable Care Act because there's so many unknowns of what's going to happen this coming year. And he doesn't want to put people in it because he doesn't know what they're going to get out of it. And it could be really negative. So there's so much change going on that it affects all aspects of life for these people.
Yeah. No, it's I think we're coming upon some really interesting times. I mean, there's a lot. And when you think about these individuals, like a lot of them are getting benefits because of personal challenges, like
Well, right, and they get SSI typically, right?
Oftentimes they'll get SSI. Yep.
Okay, but that's
figure,
nothing.
Now you figure these people who may or may not have some level of mental health challenges having to be, put in one area to work with other people that may or may not have mental health challenges, doing something that may or may not trigger them. It's just a lot of variables. I mean, you could potentially, get. So, what's up?
There's Ja. Hey, what's up, Ja?
Brother? Long time no see.
Great to see you. I'm glad you're going to a party.
What'd you say?
I'm glad you're going to a party. You're going to a holiday party, correct?
Yes. Yep. It's that time of year. 'Tis the season.
You look nice. I like the red shirt and the tie.
See the hat?
No, I don't see that. I see the hat. I don't see what it says on it.
Is it slaying it?
Oh, it does.
At first, I was like, "Is that a MAGA?"
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I got this before MAGA. Before MAGA was a thing.
John's rocking a MAGA hat. That's great.
I would be in deep trouble.
That would be phenomenal. John, I would pay for you to wear a MAGA hat for a day. Just one day, please.
That would be dangerous. You better be paying like very well. Very well. Yeah. And I keep seeing commercials about being part of the ISIS.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You want to be part of ICE? You be part of ISIS.
I keep seeing commercials.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So
Really?
I don't see any signs.
Yeah.
Probably in the back, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know exactly where you're going? Are you there?
Oh no, we're about 45
Oh,
minutes.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Kind of at a central part where we can carpool, and then at the end of the day,
There's street parking here, so I must park on the street,
all right,
and then I'll walk over.
all right, thanks. Man.
No, but I did talk to there's a couple places in New Hampshire, there's a couple places in Massachusetts that I think could work out that I gotta have either you or Ja have contact with because I think there could be a way for it to work where if because a lot of them have jobs and work now in the the IOP program that they have, and they want to graduate them from it and move them on, and if they can save their money and at least have 2 months rent available, come in with that, and then work because they have case management, work with their case managers and find employment around the Norwich area, because you have Marcus that helps transport guys to jobs. That's where I think it could work. Because right now you have. Did you say you had 4 men in the house right now?
Right now we have 4.
Yeah.
The transportation to and from work, though, I don't see that right now. Right now,
Okay.
we have a van. And
Yes.
it's not. I'll say it's not house to change. It's my personal van that I lend towards the
Yes.
house when like right now we do a food pickup and distribution. But it.
So it wouldn't be to take people to work, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay. Because I know Marcus takes people. Yeah, like he'll take people to meetings in it, won't he?
Nope. The only thing it's used
No.
for right now is for the food pickup and distribution. With some of the other programming that we're coming together with, we might be able to use it for like for pickup and drop off specifically for the programming that we're doing. But for work, I think.
So you would have to get a specific vehicle, you're saying, to do transport for something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. But I definitely think that from the response that I got, it was very, very positive, because people want to see the development, people want to see their clients move on to a sober house, because that's the next step in the development. And you would be getting people who are at least 3 months clean, which is a little bit different than a few days, a week to 28 days. You're getting guys who are used to working and going to meetings, and sobriety is a priority for them. Now the other thing they asked, because you have a house for men, would you consider another house for women?
We are considering it.
Yeah.
We are considering it. I think one of our partners actually has a house. It's not. We have a couple options. We
You do.
We do. So we are considering it. That's the short answer. But exactly when that'll happen, I'm sure.
Are the men allowed to bring, if they have a significant other, over to the house?
They can have guests, but they can't stay the night.
Of course, right. But they can have a girlfriend over.
Yep.
They just can't stay the night.
Keep breaking each.
Right, exactly.
And they're allowed to go out on occasion as long as they come back for curfew.
And even if they have like, because guys have different things going on with family, and
Yeah.
all it really takes is just communication. Really,
Right. That's the biggest thing. As
Yeah.
long as you know where they are, what they're doing, things like that,
Right.
it's not nearly as big of an issue.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So the project that you have going on in Norwich for the affordable housing, the building, how is that going? Laban had wanted me to ask because I got to find a way to get you on the show.
It's coming along. The pre-development process it's a learning process.
Oh, it's a pain.
Yeah. But the pre-development is probably about a year in itself, going through all the phases of planning.
Before you can break ground.
Right, exactly. Before you can break ground.
You have to have the capital stack completed.
You gotta grease the wheels a little bit.
No, you gotta have the capital stack complete. Before you can break any ground.
When it does.
You have to have the what complete? The capital
stack.
What does that mean?
So if it's a $22 million project, you have to have every penny allocated and accounted for, and you need a certain, like the renderings have to be at a certain percentage. I don't know if it has to be 100%, but it's at least 90 minimum.
So you got approval for this. Are you saying that you don't have?
Well, you know who approves it?
No, I don't know who approved it.
La Jefa. We approve it. It's our project, but you really don't want to move forward until you know you have enough capital to make it a successful project.
Oh, so you approve the project before you have the capital.
So it's a leap of faith, right? Because there's no guarantees that when you break ground that you're not going to uncover something that you don't predict. On this particular site, there's a lot of rock and ledge.
Yes.
So you just don't know. There's a lot of risk. But if you have the right partners, they help absorb the risk with you. We're very fortunate to have Razul and Letitia. They've been able to build really strong relationships where we have experienced people willing to help us, and it's not like just anybody is best in class support. So you go in much more confident than if you went in by yourself.
Yeah, that's what Laban was talking about, and we were actually having this discussion today. So, are you actively seeking investors for this project? Outside investors, outside money?
So actually,
yes and no. Yeah. Yes and no. So it's complicated. So the first step is Department of Housing approving your project, and it's like a interesting process. So you put in a development engagement application, and then the floodgates open when they give you the ability to apply. Essentially, you get their green light, to be able to move forward.
To be able to move forward. So
it just says that you have a viable, confident project by the Department of Housing.
So that means that you're saying people want to get involved because you have a viable project. People want to invest.
So, yes. So with affordable house, usually whenever you're doing any type of project, there's two components to the financing. There's the equity portion, which most people might consider the down payment or money you're bringing, and then there's the finance portion or the money that you go to the bank to get, right? So usually you need to raise money through the equity portion if you don't have it yourself, and then the difference you go to the bank, right? So the bank might say you need 30%,
right?
They'll finance 70% or something along those lines.
Correct.
With affordable housing, there's subsidies that
I would start with the tax credit.
Well, that would consider that a subsidy.
Yeah, it is, but I would just call it what it is.
Yeah,
Tax rate.
yeah,
So they have a low income tax credit, and there's a 4%
right.
and 9%. And if you get the first step is DOH approving your application to give you the right to apply. And then in the state of Connecticut, if you're going after affordable housing funding, you can go after a 4% and a 9%. If you get approved for that, with those credits, you're more bankable.
Yes, yes. And is it difficult to get those credits?
A lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work.
What do you mean by a lot of work? Are you mean they dig into your finances a lot of
They
work? Is it
dig into your
personal?
finances, but you really have to invest significant planning portion.
You have to
they
have a good business plan, is what you're saying.
It's beyond
Yeah,
that.
it's like you basically have to build out the plan from
A to
from
Z.
A to Z, and then all of the nuts and bolts of each part. Part
Every
A,
detail.
Part B, Part C. You got to get pretty detailed, and it's like
It's time consuming.
it's very detail oriented, and then you hire professionals to do their jobs, right? Architects.
That's what I was gonna say.
civil
Yeah,
engineers.
because you guys aren't experts in certain fields, so
Right.
to put this project together, I'm sure it takes many different groups. Am I correct in saying that?
100% correct. And everything kind of has to be done in a certain order, but like
Right.
you're figuring out the order. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's part of why we basically have to get it to a certain point in the pre-development process, and then we have a couple of experienced partners that on a short list of potential partners that we're going to work with to help. Because based on our experience, we wouldn't be able to do it alone.
Well,
Right?
you guys are both new at this. I mean, this is a massive undertaking.
Right.
Plus, like they're not
mean-
going to bank you. They're not going to fund you or bank you without the experience. So we
Correct.
have to bring in experience.
Yeah, you have to have someone who is something on their resume that they've done something like this. They're not just going to hand you over a loan to an inexperienced person building this, right?
And it's not just experience; it's also having the capital to
Yes.
to be able
Right.
to sustain. So these projects range from like $5 million to $50 million, right?
Correct.
It's going to cost well over $1 million just to plan it, and that's not paying us.
easily.
That doesn't pay our company at all. That's
Right.
just paying everybody else, and it's a leap of faith on our end.
So you took on this opportunity. You saw an opportunity here for affordable housing. You saw, the risk reward, the cost involved in it, and you still went for it, and you got it approved. That's a tremendous accomplishment. Now, you said it's really a full year, but it's trying to get investors, trying to raise the capital needed to break ground, to do everything that's required for you to get started to build. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
That's part of it.
To a degree. We will have to invest a certain amount of dollars ourselves to get it to a point where
Sure.
we will qualify for some of those funds. But housing is something that is very affordable housing, something that is like one of the most significant needs in society today. So
It is.
there's support in there. I think the challenge is figuring out the sweet spot of where you can invest just what you need to get it to that point, and then we have access to those dollars to minimize their risk. But one of the things that plays so heavily very heavily in our favor is that we have site control. We own the property already.
Right. Right.
Which has, because like a lot of times what will happen is you'll get it under contract, and then part of the terms of the contract are it's pending. We can do our test, make sure that it's viable, and that it'll pass. It'll get approved through zoning, right? But with the property that we got, it's zoned specifically for what we're doing already. So we should have minimal obstacles there. So unless there's some kind of outstanding, they had a phase one already, a phase one environment, which basically says that there's kind of environmental concerns there. So we kind of laid out what any environmental concerns they might be. And there were some, but they're kind of minimal for things that aren't, and they were supposed to have been remediated. So whether they were remediated or not, the investment, we don't think is going to be significant or enough to cause a issue in the project. So we just went ahead and closed on it because we purchased it for such a good price. We got 6.4 acres. We own multifamily for $60,000. When a lot of the time, the price tag on something like that might be $500,000.
Oh, easily, yeah.
So,
I mean, that's a really good business mind to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
What's your biggest fear right now with the project? Would you say, if you had to name your biggest fear?
I think the biggest uncertainty is because there's a lot of ledge rock on the property. That's the biggest uncertainty, knowing the cost of removing that.
Removing it.
One of the things that, and the main reason that we went with one large structure rather than having it spread out, because ideally what we would have done was have a project where we can help middle to lower income people get ownership of equity. So we could have done, a number of 3 to 4 unit properties that people can buy, and the economics of it make it so that they can get ahead financially. Because of the rock, it was more cost effective.
The risk was just a lot more doing it that way.
Significantly more. The cost of just dealing with that was so much more. So we decided to go with one large structure and do affordable housing because it looks like we'll be able to minimize the cost associated with moving ledge by having one larger structure. But as we go through the phases of the planning, we'll know better. There's some unknown, some risk associated with it because the cost could be minimal if we avoid the ledge altogether, or it could add another 100, 200, 400, or 5,000 to the cost.
Yeah, exactly. Is the entire team involved in this project? Like Letitia, is Ashley involved as well? Is Scott involved?
Scott's not part of the team.
So this is really your baby. You're on your own doing this with your team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
No, it is. I'm telling you, it's been.
That's exciting.
Are you having fun?
I'm having fun. I'm learning a lot. There's been a lot of late nights.
No, I mean it's a learning process. I'm sure you're nervous as hell about it and not sleeping, but
the late nights.
It's a huge undertaking, but the difference that you're going to be making for thousands of families, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, that's what you got to look back. That your mission is giving back, whether it's through this project, whether it's through the House of Changes. You're giving back to people, and I think that's really remarkable.
And one of the goals is to hopefully bring some House of Change programming on. Yeah,
that's what I think. I think having a phase 2 of the House of Changes where, the men stay in the house for 6 months or whatever, they get their lives straight and they have a chance to have affordable housing. That's something that is really not available. And I think that's going to make House of Changes more attractive as a program that people are going to want to go to for sure. because they're going to have a chance. You're going to stay in the house. You're going to get a job. You're going to have your mental health checked, and you're going to get right, and then you're going to have a chance to own your own place at some point. Because that's not something that's presented to a lot of people coming out of these facilities. From the place that I talked to in New Hampshire, I think that it'll be huge. So that's what I think really you can focus on. 4 beds are available in the house. I think that talking to I'll give you the number of the manager, the supervisor at Gatehouse, that you can talk with. And the supervisor at Gatehouse you can talk with, and see how you can work out a plan for them to send people to you. And then you have the place in Connecticut that you already sent someone to and they came back. I think that having those relationships and those connections will be viable, so you have a pipeline of men that can come in and are ready and financially secure enough. And then it's about employment, finding that job that can keep them there for 6 months to a year, and then moving on, saving up, learning to save. That's the biggest thing. It's not how much you make, it's how much you save. Because that's such a unique proposition that I think men will be, it's tough to find motivation when you're in the situations that they're in. When they know that, hey, listen, you do this program, you do it for 28 days, you do it for 2 months, you'll have an opportunity to go to House of Changes, get a job, pay your rent. And after 6 months, dude, you could be in the free and clear and have a chance to own your own place. That's like within a year, your life could be changed. And for a lot of people who don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, that's huge for them. That's a big motivating factor, having that light at the end of the tunnel.
So that, to me, that would be like the most ideal situation, or most favorable, is getting someone from, coming into the house and getting them from, whether it's homeless, just out of prison, re-entry, to home ownership. To me, that would be like kind of the dream situation scenario, And I think it's doable. The home ownership, I think you're looking at about 2 years.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think you can do it in about 2 years.
I agree. But I mean, the fact that they can go to,
it depends on the person.
From start to finish, from detox, from treatment, from going into a sober house, being there, at least a year. I mean, I think that's something that will motivate people to go in the right direction. You're like, wow, I can turn my life around in a year. It's not going to take 5 years for me to restart my life. I can make changes and get in the right place in a year. And that will really provide a lot of self-confidence, because a lot of these guys don't have that. So that's why I'm saying I think that it'll be a big moment for them. So actively, it would be reaching out to the rehab facilities and putting them in contact with you to talk about how you can work out a connection and an arrangement to work with them to take clients when they have graduated the program. That's ideally what you would want.
Yeah, ideally just keeping the house full with the right men.
Correct.
That fit the
Yes.
culture
Yes.
is the ideal scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's definitely something I can help with. The place in New Hampshire is Gatehouse. I can put you in touch with them. They gave me two other places, and then I'll look through Connecticut and reach out to them and see if how long their program is, and see if they can talk with you about putting together a partnership. So at least there'll never be a situation where your beds are empty. There'll always be a pipeline. And that was the one thing about Gatehouse, was there was never a bed that was empty. If someone left, somebody new was coming in, because there was just such a shortage and so many people who needed help, and there weren't a lot of places to go. So I think that can work out. So I think ideally that could be the next step. And then, I really think the fundraiser, doing the raffle, I think would be beneficial when you guys have your board meeting. It's very, very simple to do. It's just printing up tickets, selling them. I think I know that your team is obviously overworked, but I think it's something that you can have friends do. I think it's something you can have nonprofit organizations sell. I think it's something you can go to businesses with, just like we did. And I really don't think 1,000 tickets is going to be exorbitant. I really think you would be able to do that. And you give away 50 grand, you keep 50 grand. I think you could do more, but if you don't think you have the bandwidth to do more, then start small. Start small. And you have to realize, you could.
Our board meeting on Monday, because if you're gonna one and
good. If you want me to talk about it at the board meeting, I'll come on Zoom and talk about it, because I know for a fact it works. If it worked in Utica, New York, where we're poor as shit, and we sold tickets literally from July until October, 3,000 tickets. But we did have businesses involved. We did have more people involved. But how many members do you have on the board?
On the board, we have about, just because people are in it, from month to month, are present or not present, but my best, top of my head, I want to say like 10-ish.
10?
Like active board members,
Yeah. So you have 10 board members right there. Realistically, between 10 board members, friends and family, at minimum, they should be able to sell 10 tickets. I think, I was able to sell 20 tickets. I think they could sell 20 tickets. And then
that would buy tickets. We buy tickets anyway.
And then you guys do open houses, right?
On the real estate side, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. On the real estate side, You do open houses. You can bring tickets there, sell them there. There's nonprofit organizations and businesses that would allow you to have tickets sold there. So that's why I really believe it can work. I've seen it work, and there's no overhead. And then if you want to have your dinner in April, where you announce the winner, you give away the money, and you know, you keep 50 grand. I mean, it's 50 grand.
Let me ask you this: when you are advertising for it, right? Do you commit to the amount, or do you just say it's, you know what I'm saying, like in the 50-50 raffle type of thing? Right. Like, would you say, you know, enter for 10,000, and you know the winners to be announced, you know, April 16th at the fundraiser, and then because then you're kind of committed, right? You have to.
Yeah, we committed. We committed to it. It wasn't Trisha's idea to commit to it. It was her boss's idea to commit to it. But you know, you could do it that way. I mean, you could say, you know, we're doing a raffle. I would say at minimum, you know, you have a chance to win $10,000, and then as ticket sales go, you could absolutely up it. And you know, if you're able to sell, like, I really believe you'll be able to sell 1,000 tickets within 2 months. I think it's something that'll go fast.
Cully, you think you can help us get on like the local like radio stations to announce it? If we do it?
Of course.
You help with that?
Of course, yeah. Joe D, absolutely.
Thank you.
97.9, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe even 97. What is it? What's the one? The big one? 93.7.
Hot 93.7. Yes. What I would also do is I have built up my YouTube channel along with Dave's. I have the ability now to advertise on YouTube TV, not just YouTube, YouTube TV. So I could do something where if you were able to spend probably, I would say $75 a week, I would do 2 hard days of primetime ads for it and see how it worked out. You know, they can be bought at the Scott Lewis Real Estate Building if you wanted to sell them there. If that would be the center, wherever you can process credit cards. Otherwise, you have to pay cash. Yeah. What?
Where do you have some platforms to be able to process payments too? But we can kind of cross that bridge. Let's put the horse first.
Yeah. What we did was at the businesses, they had to pay cash. If they wanted to pay with a card, they had to come to the animal shelter to pay with a card. Or they could call, or we would have them call from the business and we would process their credit card over the phone.
Okay.
And it's also something you can do on, if you have Stripe or there's other processors, you could do it on your website because you take donations on your website, correct?
Yeah, we have, we already started, we built out a lot of the payment platforms. So a lot of that is built out already.
So that's another way to do it. You could say you could buy tickets right on our website. So that's why I really believe, like, I think you could sell 2,000 tickets, but I think start with 1,000, see how it goes. And I know that you don't want to involve your team because your team's overworked, but I think we have enough friends who would sell tickets. You know, like
And I think,
Razul.
and I think this is a project Scott would want to be a part of because he's big into raffles and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, he's actually doing one right now through Louis for a script. Yeah, and then he's actually announcing it during UConn basketball games, the men and women. You know how good UConn basketball is doing right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's Scott would be very open to having a conversation on how he can support.
Listen. I just saw it work, and I was blown away by it. You know, Trisha. I mean, she's a mastermind. She sold a ton of tickets herself. We had a great team, and we had businesses involved. And like I said, this is Utica, and Utica's a dump. Utica doesn't have money, and these are $100 tickets. People paid no problem because they wanted to support the animal shelter. So there's very there's no overhead. The only overhead is printing out decent tickets, which doesn't cost much. And then it's just getting people to sell them, talking to different businesses about selling them at their place if they're comfortable doing it, and being able to process the credit cards, which you can do on your website. You already have that in place. So that's why I think it could work. And, is $50,000 going to make a difference at the House of Changes? Is that like significant?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could do more. I mean, you could take 75 grand and give away 25 grand. I mean, it doesn't have to be 50-50, but you could do it however you want. But I just think it's very, very easy. It's low overhead, and it's you have the personnel that could do it. I really do believe that. So, and yeah, I would advertise it. Absolutely. We could get it on the radio. We could get it. YouTube TV right now has 80 million viewers. You could get people from out of state that would buy it. So that's why I say
Were they getting, so people were buying them online?
No, we didn't have the bandwidth to have them buy them online. We had to have them call from the business if they wanted to pay with a card. They would call the shelter from the business and pay with a card over the phone.
And then they punch it in.
Because the shelter was a shit show. We didn't have the bandwidth to do it. You guys could. You guys could say, hey, you want to buy a ticket? Here, go to the website, fill out the form, They show it to you. You give them the ticket. You rip up the stub and get the ticket. The end of the week, you go and you collect the stubs, and I think it could work.
Okay. So you're going to pitch it to the board on Monday. So thank you for that. And,
if you want me to, I will. I'd be more than happy to. I believe it'll. I have 100% faith it'll work. And
the executive director asked you to.
Well, Connecticut is just full of rich people, and $100 to them is like $10 to people in Utica. So that's
all
why
I know is property in New York City is more expensive than property in Connecticut, especially Norwich, Connecticut.
Oh, but not Utica.
No.
Yeah. Utica. Utica, Razul could buy a mansion.
That's the Norwich. Okay.
Yeah. Take a look at some of the property in Utica. You could buy a mansion, but you guys have a safe holiday party,
Thank
I
you.
will play our outro here, and you guys will be good to go for Razul Wallace and
I'm gonna add you to the
Ja.
calendar invite. I'm gonna add you to the
What
calendar
what
invite for
what
the
time's the meeting Monday?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
Don't be
Oh,
late.
okay, no problem. Okay,
We'll
I will
send
be
La
there.
Hefa to Utica. We will send La Hefa to Utica if we need to. Don't be late.
I do not doubt that. I do not doubt that. But yeah, no, I'd love to help out. So, and then I will get you the contact information for some of the other facilities, and I'll reach out to some of the other facilities. So
All right.
for Razul, Ja, House the Changes, Inspire Synergy. I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life. Down south, we also have Julius Williams and the Trench Mob. Julius trains offensive and defensive linemen. They compete in 5v5 tournaments and college showcase camps across the country. Julius has sent kids to places like Florida, Florida State, Miami, Tennessee, Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, just to name a few. If you want to work with the best and you're an offensive or defensive lineman, go to www.battleofthetrenches.com. Julius is located in Decatur, Georgia. However, he will come to you. You can come to them and work with them. You are allowed to go to any tournament they go to, any showcase camp, and he will do everything possible to help you through the recruiting process. We have Ned Von Young, Fresh Fold Laundry Company, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, high-end laundry service. They have now been open a full year. They do booking online. You put your clothes out in a clear bag. They come pick it up, wash, dry, fold it for you within 48 hours. They also have an expedited service. They have an online subscription model where you can do your laundry weekly or bi-weekly, same thing. They are now going to be offering a delivery and pickup service so you can have your laundry done without leaving the comfort of your own home. They have deals for college students. So if you are in college, wash your clothes. Believe me, they have everything on their website. It is my-freshfold.com. James Whitfield of Luther James Insurance. For the last 3 years, James has dedicated himself to the art of financial planning, financial services. He specializes in insurance policies, mainly life insurance. He will make you a boatload of money, and he will do so tax-free. He understands the stress that goes into retirement planning. How much am I going to need? For how long? Do we have enough? Because fear of the unknown is real. Go to his website, lutherjamesinsurance.com, to get a free consultation.